Angela Martin and welcome to this Quickcast. Now in this episode we'll be taking a look at how we can annotate a PDF with either using Preview or Adobe Reader. Now in the past, when we receive a PDF document, we first needed to print it out into a hard copy, fill it in by hand, rescan it back into a PDF file, and then resend it to the recipient. Now with your Mac, you are able to open the PDF file, fill it in, and send it directly, even when it comes to adding in a signature. Now to do this, I'm going to go into a PDF file. Because I use Preview as my default application, it will open within Preview. So yeah, I've got my PDF open, showing my thumbnail as well. So if you do want to see the thumbnail, you can just click on the View menu button and click on Thumbnails, which will give you the ability to see how many pages you have within that PDF. So in my case, I've got this blank PDF, and there are one of two ways I can add in text. So I can just move my mouse pointer onto any of the lines, and I can see that my mouse pointer becomes an I-beam, which gives me the ability to add in an insertion point when I click on that line. Now the other method is to go into my toolbox, which will then show all of my markup tools. And within my markup tools, I've got a text box. And if I click on that text box, it will automatically add in a text box onto my PDF. I can click, drag it onto the line, and I can double click within that text box to add in text, and I can type in my name. Now I can see that the letters are slightly bigger than what I want it to be, so I can double click to edit that text. So I go into my fonts button, and within my fonts button I can then make it, I'm going to make it 13 point, which will make it slightly smaller, and I can also bold that text. If I do want to change the color, I can click on the color button, which will then take me into my color swatches. Now I can do the same with my surname as well. This time around I'm not going to click on the text box, but I'm going to double click on the line, which will then add in my insertion point. I'll type in my surname. Now I can do the same with my address as well as the date. If I double click on the date, I can then type in the date, whichever format I choose. And now when it comes to the signature, I've got one of two ways to fill in my signature. On my toolbar, I've got a signature button. Now if I click on that arrow, it will give me the ability to either add in my signature with a trackpad or with a camera. It's a little bit difficult with a trackpad as you don't have a guide where you're actually signing. However, this can also be done. So you click on here to begin, and then you gotta feel your way out with a signature. As you can see, is not as easy. Or what we can do, we can then go with a camera option as well. Now when it comes to the camera, we then have to fill it in onto a page, the signature, and then hold it onto or above the blue line, and it will automatically add in that signature. So here I have my signature filled in on a blank page, and it must be done with a black pen. And all I do is I hold the page up onto the camera, just lower it, let it touch the blue line, and there it inserts that signature, and I click on done. Keep in mind that it must touch the blue line for the signature to go onto the program. So now after I've added in my signature, I can click on the signature, click on that particular signature that I've made, and I can resize it and then just drag it into my signature line. So now I've filled in my PDF, and I can then save and send it. Now when it comes to doing it within my Adobe Reader, if I should now go back into that PDF, now at the moment it's been filled in, so I'm going to revert back to the previous state. So I'm going to go to File, Revert to, Browse All Versions, and I'm going to go back to the way it was. So I'm going to go to Restore to this state, and I'm going to click on Restore, and there I've got a blank document, and I'm going to save it that way for now. I'm going to close my preview. So now if I want to open that blank document within the Adobe Reader, I'll open it in Finder. I'll do a secondary click on that PDF as I have Adobe Reader as well loaded. So I'll go to Open With and my Acrobat or Adobe Reader. Now within my Adobe Reader, I can go to the sidebar and I can go to the tool called Fill In and Sign. Now be aware, if you are within any of the other tools, there are drop down arrows, you might not be able to see the Fill In and Sign. However, the other option is you can also go to Tools, Fill In and Sign. So I'll go back to my file and I'll go into my Fill In and Sign on the sidebar. So now it will bring about my Fill In and Sign toolbar where I can add in my text. So if I click on the Add Text button and I click on the line, it will automatically add in a text box where I can make the text bigger by clicking on the bigger A, make it smaller. However, I also have the ability to fill in the text in blocks. As if I have a form that has the block setup, I can just switch to the blocks, drag that particular block onto where the same as the blocks on the page, and I can automatically just add it in, which makes it much easier for that purpose. Now in our case we don't have that, so I'll just untick the blocks and I'll just type it in as it is. Now when it comes to adding in our signature, I can see on our toolbar there's also a sign option. So if I go to the sign, add signature, I can add in a signature by typing it in. I can add it in by drawing it in. Now this is a little bit more easier than the one that we have in preview, as we've got a guide to show us where we are at. However, the signatures might change if you use both preview as well as Adobe Reader. Now when it comes to that situation, you can also use an image as your signature option. Now at the moment I don't have any images of my signature, but I can create a screenshot of the signature in preview. So what I'll do is I'll just click on cancel for now and I'll go back into my doc. I'll open that PDF again and I'll go to my toolbox as I already added in that signature. I'll click to put the signature on the page. I'll drag it to a blank part of my document and I hold down the Command Shift key, press 4. So here I can see that my mouse pointer have turned into a crosshair. I click and I drag it over that signature, which will then take a screenshot of that image, which is now sitting on my desktop. So now this time around within my Adobe Reader, I can then click on Sign, add signature, take the image, select image, click on the image that I've taken onto my desktop, select image, and I click on apply. So then I can just click and add that image or that signature into my PDF. So that is how I can annotate my PDFs as well as adding my signature whether I'm using Preview or Adobe Reader. Hope that you enjoyed this Quickcast with me, Angelo Martin, and as always, hope you have a fantastic day and goodbye.